my name is Madeline, and welcome to this yin yoga class for when you're feeling overwhelmed. So, in this class, we'll be doing some forward folding, we'll do some grounding poses, and we'll be holding poses for about 2 to 3 minutes. And yin is really restorative, really meditative practice, and even just taking this time for yourself should be really helpful for calming the mind and just stepping away from whatever you're overwhelmed with. And let's go ahead and get started. We'll start in a child's pose. So you can come to hands and knees, and then bring feet together, knees wide on the mat. Sink the hips back towards those heels, and then walk those hands out in front of you. Option to soften a little bit in the elbows to soften the pose. Once you're here, maybe you want to rock the forehead a couple times, side to side, getting into that third eye space. And then go ahead and settle into some stillness in your child's pose and start to breathe deeply. And let's go ahead and take a few more breaths. Take one more deep breath here. And slowly start to roll back up, taking your time, no rush. And we'll go ahead and come on to hands and knees. And once you're here, option to take a couple of cat-cows or take any kind of movement that feels good in the body. So maybe that's some circles. Just trying to listen intuitively to whatever you need. Take one more breath in your movement and then return back to center, and we'll come into a melting heart pose. So if the knees are sensitive and you have a blanket, you might want to put that underneath the knees. And then trying to keep knees and hips in one line. Start to walk those hands forward towards the top of the mat. Option to grip the top of the mat with your fingertips if you want an even deeper stretch. And then go ahead and melt the chest down towards the earth. Maybe forehead touches the mat. You can always walk the hands wider across the mat if you feel any kind of pain in the arms, or if that doesn't feel good either. Option two, let the forearms rest on the mat and then flip the palms up. So, wherever you are, getting a nice opening in the upper body where we tend to hold a lot of tension and stress. So, just observing any sensations you feel here, physical or emotional, and observing them without any judgment. Breathe deeply. And we'll take a few more breaths in our melting heart. Take one more deep breath here. And then slowly start to let it go, staying low to the mat. Begin to slide those hips back again towards the heels. And this time we'll come into a closed leg child's pose with the arms reaching behind you and the knees together. Pausing here for a few moments and noticing the effects of that pose on the body. And take one more breath here. And then slowly start to slide forward, sliding all the way onto your belly. You can bring hands to stack on top of each other. And we're going to come into a half frog from here. So if you have a blanket, I would definitely recommend using it, especially if you are on a hardwood floor. And I would place that blanket about midway up the mat on the right side. And then go ahead and start to slide that right knee up in line with the right hip and try to make a kind of right angle with the leg. And if you have that blanket, you could place the knee on the blanket. And just settle in here, feeling that nice hip opening and feeling your body supported by the ground beneath you. And we'll take a couple more breaths here. Taking one last deep breath. And really slowly taking your time, slide that right leg back in line with the left. And you can wiggle out the hips a couple times. And just go ahead and pause in stillness in your resting belly pose just for a couple moments. And we'll go ahead and do that half frog on the other side now. So if you have that blanket, you can switch it over to the left and then start to slide that left knee up in line with the left hip and then try to make a right angle with that leg. And again, settle in here, feeling the support of the earth and the opening in the hip. Another place where we tend to store a lot of tension and a lot of stress. Really breathe deeply here, breathing all the way down into the belly. And let's take a couple more deep breaths here. Taking one last deep breath. And then really slowly, no rush, start to slide that left leg back in line with the right. You can windshield wiper the legs here, rocking the feet a little side to side. And let that go, and we'll start to press back up onto hands and knees, taking any movement on your way there that feels good. And we'll meet in a seated position with the legs extended out long. Just pausing here for a moment. And from here, we're going to come into a caterpillar pose. So option 2, bend the knees as much as you like. If you want some more opening in the low back, bend the knees a lot. Or if you want to feel it along the legs and the whole backside body, go ahead and try to keep those legs straighter. So it's up to you, whatever you want today. And we'll go ahead and reach the arms up and then start to fold forward over the legs. Maybe hands come to the feet, but totally not necessary. And really try to let the spine soften, let that head drop. Maybe folding a little bit more with each breath. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Take one more breath. And then super slowly start to roll back up, no rush. Option to bring the feet in, take a couple of windshield wipers side to side. And then come back to center, and we'll come down onto our backs. You can hug the knees in at first. Maybe rock a couple times side to side, which should feel nice on the spine. And then from here, we're going to come into a reclining twist. So you can shift those hips a little over to the left, and then let the knees drop down over to the right. And extend the left arm out into a T shape or a cactus shape. You can always place a block or bolster underneath the knees or in between the knees. And really try to draw that left shoulder down towards the mat and send the breath up and down the spine. Breathing deeply here. And let's take a couple more breaths here. Taking one more deep breath. And then slowly start to bring the knees back to center. And we'll move right into that other side. This time shifting hips a little over to the right and letting knees drop down to the left. And extend right arm out into a T shape or cactus, trying to draw right shoulder down towards the mat. And again, you can always place a block or bolster underneath the knees or in between the knees. And notice the difference between the two sides here. One side is probably tighter, a little more tense. So just observing and breathing. And let's take a couple more breaths here. Take one more breath. And slowly draw the knees back to center. You can rock side to side again or make some circles with those knees. And from here, start to take any final poses or movement your body is needing before we head into Shavasana. So maybe that's a happy baby or a snail or anything you need. And then whenever you're ready, no rush at all, you can start to extend those legs out long. Let the arms drape down by the sides and surrender into the earth for your final resting pose, Shavasana. And we'll close class on our backs here. If you have the time, I definitely encourage you to stay in the Shavasana for as long as you like. But if you have to get going, we'll close with one final breath. So you can exhale all the air out now. Take a deep inhale through the nose. And then a big sigh out the mouth. And thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope this was a helpful break for you. And if you'd like to see more yin yoga classes like this, please subscribe to my channel. It definitely means a lot. And I'll see you again next time.